the City of New Britain. Building hope together for a greater community.
Good evening on March 8th, 2017. This is the public participation before our regular Common Council meeting. We want to remind people to come up to the podium if you'd like to speak, and please provide us for your name and address. We don't have anyone actually on a list presently, so I will ask 3 times to see if anyone is interested. Come on up forward. Keep in mind again, it's a 3-minute limit. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, my name is Joe Gigenti, Martin Luther King Drive. I want to continue with this water well that we have up there. By you building that bridge, there's not going to be any companies that come in town because you're building a bridge over and makes it look like that. Spending $1.5 million, 2.5 from the state of Connecticut. But they look at the way you run your city, and they say, is that a waste of money? And most people say yes. We have a problem, and we need more tax money to the city of New Britain. We need to cut down everything. With this well, we can cut it down. What we have to do is take 0.5% of the well, give it to the park department, 0.5% to the water department, and bottle our own waters. During the summer, we have a lot of vacation people coming to town, and a lot of people drink a lot of water. We have a lot of activities, ball games, footballs, everything. And we sell our own water, the well's going to pay for it. Plus, it will give the water department more money, and it will give the recreation department more money to bring in more stuff. You're not going to raise taxes in order to do this. So can you buy a bottle of water with a bridge? Or if you build that bridge, you think somebody's going to drive down Route 9 over there and not look up at the bridge and get into an accident? Is that not a distraction? There's been a lot of accidents and distractions on the highway, and all it takes is a 0.5 second for a car to go left, and it wipes out 5 other cars. So you got to take into consideration what this bridge is going to cost, not by money, but by human life coming down the highway. And you know, with all the billboards you guys put up, you knock them down because there are distractions to drivers. I want you to look at it. And you tell me for a fact that will not be a distraction when you come out of that tunnel and you're looking at that? So I think we ought to take the well, give it 50% and 50%, build our own water department, bottle department for the ballparks, for our recreation places, and that will support the well and make money for the city and help us out. And when a company comes and they see that the city is doing this, they're going to say, hey, the city's looking after us. They're not looking at beauty, to beautify the city, like we did down Main Street. Tell me, who's going to come down Main Street? There's no stores for rent. Everything's all taken up. You beautified Main Street for what? The stores that are already there. And you says it'll bring more stores to the town. You ain't got no room. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for the record, we did start at 7:02. Mr. Clerk, would you notify that? I may not have stated so. Is there anyone else who would like to speak for public participation? Yes, sir. You may.
Evening. Tim Stewart, Greater New Britain Chamber of Commerce. Thank you guys once again.
Could I have your address, please, Mr. Stewart?
I live at 60 Whiteman Road, New Britain, Connecticut, for quite some time, Mr. Majority Leader. Do you want my other addresses too? I'll give you that. I'm here tonight to not only watch my daughter give her State of the City, but to support resolution, I think it's number 13 on your agenda this evening. We've been working diligently, myself and a number of folks from a 3-town region between Farmington, New Britain, and Berlin to put together a plan for a grant application called Innovation Places within our tri-town community. And what it is supposed to do is actually give us an opportunity to create places and spaces that allow for entrepreneurs to flourish, people to move back into your communities, and economic development to thrive within our regions. Now that's a large task, and there's quite a bit involved with it. We held a series of focus groups throughout the community over the last probably 2.5 months, and developed some strategies to accomplish this. We're up against about 8 other communities that are in the running for 4 spots. And if we're successful, which I'm hopeful that we will be, we can be eligible for up to $1 million a year for 3 years with this grant. So the grant's purpose is to fund projects and programs that actually will create these types of environments, and we have a significant number of things already going on within those regions of the 3 towns, but some of the efforts that are already underway, and I'm hopeful that in another month and a half, I'll come here and I'll be telling you that we did receive the grant. We had already received a $40,000 design grant with a matching component from local institutions, from CCSU, from Tuxas, and a number of other folks that helped out with the funding for this thing. So it's been a Herculean task, to say the least, on the part of the Chamber, who's the lead on this thing, and CCSU, who's the lead anchor institution. So I urge your support for this thing, and hopefully I'll be back here in a little over a month telling you that we did receive it. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak for public participation? Anyone else in the audience would like to speak for public participation? A third and final time, is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak for public participation? Seeing none, with this portion of prior to our council meeting, and also from the mayor's address on the state of the city, will start shortly, and we will close this portion at 7:09 p.m. Thank you.
This regular meeting of the New Britain Common Council. The date is March 8th, 2017. The time is 7:17 p.m. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
All the persons: Giantonio.
Present.
Smedley. Carlozzi.
Here.
Black.
Present.
Collins. Present. Davis. Here. Hargraves.
Here.
Naples.
Here.
Pabon.
Here.
Polkowski.
Present.
Rosado.
Here.
Salvio.
Here.
Sanchez. Sanders.
Present.
Salerno.
Here.
13 present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can we all please rise for the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance?
Let us pray. O God, our Heavenly Father, we give thanks that each day grows longer in warm light, and that we have been liberated from the cold grip of winter. Please provide our St. Patrick's Day city delegation with a snow-free, warm day. Look down on Mayor Erin Stewart as she provides us with her State of the City address, and our Common Council as they work in cooperation to recognize the challenges of 2017 and work to make New Britain a better place to be. We ask this in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And the Pledge of Allegiance led today by birthday boy Ken Haas. Yes. Just start, that's okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you, Ken, and happy birthday to you. Okay, I guess we should just jump right into it. So, per city charter, the first meeting in March, the mayor is to provide the State of the City address, which is what I will jump right into right now. I still get nervous about these things, I do. So to members of the City Council, all the elected officials that are here, our department heads, our city employees, and most importantly, my fellow citizens that are here, I'm here this evening to present you with the annual State of the City address. To all of you joining us at home, we are continuing our commitment this evening to be innovative, and we are bringing to you this official City Hall update online. So whether you're watching on Nutmeg TV, on newbritainct.gov, or on Facebook Live, hello everybody, hi everybody, we are welcome. I stand here before you on this International Women's Day to give my 4th address. And it's crazy how time flies and ironic of the day that this falls on. So we have to start off with giving a big round of applause for all the strong women who make this world a better place. Alderwoman Black, I'm with you today. I thought about not showing up and boycotting today, but that probably wouldn't have gone over well, so we had to kind of throw that one out the window. So the first address that I gave 4 years ago is much different than the one I will give to you tonight, and our theme for this evening is simple, and that New Britain is leading the way. We are leading the way. From business development to infrastructure projects, innovation, and financial management, we are showing others how a city can adapt and be successful during very uncertain times. We have dug deep and summoned the courage to make tough decisions during the past several years, to prioritize our finances and cut back where it was necessary. We have been bold, we have been innovative and tenacious in our pursuit to better our community, and we've done that together. We have done an incredible job over the last 4 years of creatively budgeting and finding solutions to pay for the everyday services that our citizens expect and deserve, all while keeping our costs down and our employees employed. Our recent audit confirms that our leadership is working. Our rainy day fund is stable. We've been able to save and maintain money in our savings account and finally follow our own laws. The requirement to budget for and maintain a 5% fund balance. For the second year in a row, the rating agency Standard & Poor's validated our continued success and gave New Britain another A+ rating. We're proud of that. In that announcement, analysts remarked that we view the city's financial management as strong. The commitment my team has made to building a foundation of solid financial practices continues. Our department heads are to be applauded. They're all here today. They didn't have a choice. They had to come. But hello, department heads. But we have to give it up for them. Because every day they have run their departments efficiently and effectively. They have made substantial changes to the way they have been accustomed to operating in order to save money and maintain the services that each of their departments provide. And we can't forget our employees. Their professionalism and their pride in the city are unmatched. It is worth noting that every single labor union, which is now on a high deductible health savings plan, a move that will save taxpayers more than $9 million over the course of the contracts. That was certainly no easy feat, and it took lots of compromise, but this is a team effort. We are lucky to have a staff who step up to the plate when more is being asked of them, so our citizens and I thank all of you. Leading the way is certainly not easy. It takes poise, it takes professionalism, and a whole lot of patience. Since becoming your mayor, I have held 4 key guiding principles very close. That's fiscal responsibility, ensuring all of our students have access to the quality education that they deserve, allowing New Britain to truly be open for business, and transparency, an open government for the people. Because you are the focus of every waking moment. This council and my staff help keep those principles alive every single day. There's an old saying that patience is a virtue, and that's definitely true when it comes to waiting for your vision to come to life. The renaissance of our city continues this year as phases 4 and 5 of the award-winning Complete Streets Master Plan take hold. When construction breaks ground on these 2 projects in the spring, work will begin to renovate our Main Street overpass into our signature Beehive Bridge, while Bank Street and Columbus Boulevard will be renovated for improved transportation flow. I ask you, on behalf of our Public Works Department, and I know Director Moriarty can hear me on this one, please have patience with us with the construction and traffic detours. These phases of the streetscape plan will continue to connect the puzzle pieces in our downtown redevelopment. There are many projects that all of you already know about, like Columbus Commons, which we'll be talking about later this evening. That's the site of the old police department, and when completed, it will encompass businesses and more than 140 apartments for those people who want to live, work, and play in downtown. This development is one of the largest private investments in our city in decades. And it didn't just happen. We led the way in raising the old police department, readying the site, and doing our due diligence to make our vision for this corridor well known. CT Fast Track is growing and helping to refuel a rebirth of our downtown. Some other exciting projects, which you may not be aware of, happening in the heart of our city are as well. Recently, CMHA purchased 227 Main Street. They will be renovating the site and spending millions of dollars to consolidate their operations and programming, bring more than 120 employees into downtown. Meanwhile, 2 prominent retail spaces in our city center will soon be occupied, the storefront next to Dunkin' Donuts and at the storefront at the entrance of the Chesney Garage now have been built out and are equipped to house new small businesses. Feet on the street are what we need to bring downtown back. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy, and the more we can help entrepreneurs live out their dreams here in our city, the more it will be well known, and very well known, that New Britain is open for business. This past year, we were fortunate enough to cut the ribbon on more than 14 new businesses. Many of you were there for those. They helped to create new jobs, places like Grand Pizza, Dollar General, and expanded Boricuan Bakery. And in just a few weeks, the city can celebrate our first brewery in over half a century when the Alvarium Beer Company opens its doors. Alvarium translates in Latin to beehive and can be found on our city seal with our motto, "Industry fills the hive and enjoys the honey." Our industry is certainly growing. Since taking office in 2013, the city's unemployment rate has gone from 10% to 5.4%, a sign that our local economy is strong and that our people are getting back to work. As businesses increasingly invest in their operations and expand or relocate to our city, they bring with them workers and a growing market for restaurants and other services that have brought a buzz to our community. Just look to Central Park, where we revived a summer music series, launched a farmer's market, brought in food trucks, and held many community events and gatherings. These are all new initiatives that help to draw people out of their offices or apartments. The Parks and Rec department thought I was crazy for a little while, but I think it all worked out well in its first year. It has also led to the 3rd year of growth for our grand list. Our 2016 grand list grew by nearly 1%, with the personal property portion increasing by over 5%. Proof that businesses like Stanley Black & Decker have the confidence in the direction of our city to make long-term investments in their operations here. There's also aerospace manufacturing companies like Polymer Precision, which we'll talk about again this year in my State of the City address, because they're experiencing unprecedented growth. They've been in our city for less than 2 years. Now check this out. In 2016, the company saw a 50% increase in sales. This year, the company's chief operations officer is anticipating a 100% increase in sales, more than $10 million in new equipment, and upwards of 100 new employees to help meet their increased production. That's the type of development that we need to see. Not only are companies like this fueling the economic growth of our city by hiring local, but they are providing philanthropic support as well for our school system and other charitable organizations. Earlier this year, after nearly a year-long collaborative effort, we unveiled our master transit-oriented development plan called Hives of Activity. There's a lot of buzz going on here this evening. With ridership on CT Fast Track continuing to grow, we must continue leading the way in capitalizing on the potential for new development in and around the 3 Fast Track stations in our city. This plan focuses on our neighborhoods and provides a well-thought-out vision for helping to revitalize buildings or parcels that are underused. We consistently asked ourselves through this process, how can we design better walkable, livable, and transit-oriented areas of the city while continuing to honor the history and various cultures that make each neighborhood very unique? This master plan will ensure that long after my administration, there remains a solid vision outlining the steps future generations and future leaders must take to achieve our ultimate goal to link CT Fast Track areas of redevelopment to other areas of the city and much further beyond that as well. As I mentioned earlier, one of the major gateways into the city will begin its transformation this spring. The Main Street overpass, one of the busiest bridges in town and also in need of some of the most repair structurally, will be transformed into a colorful and welcoming piece of functional architecture and public art for my art friends. This bridge will help mend the divisions made to our city when the highway was put through it during the urban renewal timeframe, which Department of Community Development can appreciate, during the 1970s. It will reshape the experience for pedestrians walking between our downtown and our Little Poland area while greeting motorists with a bold message that speaks to the city we have become, an all-America city that continually sets the bar higher and higher. We want them to exit the highway and experience the new that we offer here in New Britain. If that slogan doesn't sound familiar, it certainly should. In January, we unveiled our new city logo and slogan, the last marketing campaign for the city, which we talked about that day. The last marketing campaign for the city was done more than 30 years ago. And I happen to be turning 30 this year. Ugh. This was a long overdue effort to better market ourselves and tell others the real story that's unfolding here in the city. This logo, of course, won't replace our city seal, which depicts the beehive and those 7 buzzing bees that are flying around it, representing the 7 original founding manufacturers of the city. That seal will always remain and always be there. Our marketing logo is a series of hexagons to represent a hive or a bee in flight. And while the slogan Experience the New sends a message to the entire state and region that New Britain is a city that is leading the way and deserving of your time. Whether you're visiting as a tourist, moving in as a new resident, looking to start a business, or staying here to continue a career, you are welcomed, and we want you to know that. One of the insights that came from the group discussions around developing the new logo and slogan is that we are a city full of surprises that range from a world-class art institution to a myriad of entertainment options, and that includes one of America's favorite pastimes. Yes, baseball. I have to mention that in an address, otherwise it wouldn't be a state of the city, right? I hope all of you will join me and everybody watching will join me for the first pitch of the Bees season opener, which will be on April 21st. We broke attendance records last year when our new general manager, or maybe not so new general manager, Jerry Berthium, a former New Britain Red Sox general manager, would certainly love to continue that streak. It goes without saying that we are blessed with gifts from our founding fathers. Beautiful parks, and a water system that is to be cherished. There has been much done over this past year to protect these assets, from investing in our park system with upgrades to the continuing investments in our reservoir pump stations and wells. As part of my Energy and Innovation Committee, the city will continue to take care of its environmental assets and look for new and innovative ways to make the quality of life better for our citizens. Over the last year, we've added a fuel cell that powers the high school. We've launched a new city website, installed LED lights in our offices, added free Wi-Fi in our downtown, and started the process to make our downtown traffic lights and signals aligned and smarter, making traveling through the heart of downtown a little bit easier. All of these new age and innovative changes create savings, make your life a little bit easier, and are reflective of our goal to constantly innovate and refine how people view their local government. Earlier this year, we restructured the workflow inside of City Hall to allow for greater efficiency and uphold my promise to make New Britain welcoming to businesses. A position that was previously housed in the Chamber of Commerce offices has been moved back to City Hall, so that when a developer comes to us, he or she can visit the building department to get permits, ask questions of zoning, and then walk right down to visit with our Department of Economic Development to learn about business assistance programs. We eliminated 3 department head positions in order to save money, and we will soon have a new support services director and an energy and facilities manager. These are just a few of the ways in which we are streamlining and consolidating government while allowing us to continue improving the way that we operate. Over at the Board of Education, Superintendent Nancy Sarah has undertaken many of her own new initiatives and is leading the way in trying to eliminate our achievement gap. More students are achieving success because of her hard work and our collective focus on education. That was as a parent when in June we were given that prestigious All-America City Award for our results on summer learning loss prevention. We know our schools are in desperate need of additional funding. That's no secret here. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that if we had the ability to fund our school district ourselves at the proper amount per student, we'd do it in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, that's not our reality. I have to give credit where credit is due. Nancy Sarah is doing an incredible job providing a quality education to every student in our district, regardless of how much money we receive. We continue to advocate and to push at the statewide level for more equitable funding for our students. The next major project on the horizon is the renovation of Smalley Academy. When the project is complete, our 700 children enrolled at Smalley will have a state-of-the-art building. This will truly be an educational hub for the holistic care of our students, because we believe in educating and caring for the whole child, with curriculum that also covers health and wellness. We need a building to provide for all of that, to care for students and their families so they can break the cycle of poverty, ensuring that the roof over their head is sturdy. And unfortunately, there are many in our community who don't have that. Through the hard work of Building Hope Together and all the partners throughout our great city, those who were once without a home now have a permanent roof over their head, and that's something to be proud of. When I came into this job, We had an average of 108 chronically homeless households in our area, not for one night, not for 1 week, but chronically. In our city, we have a very important milestone to be proud of. We were put underneath what's called a coordinated access network with the state and the Department of Housing. Partnered with them extensively to provide vouchers and opportunities for those who needed somewhere to go. And this year, the state announced that our region had done away with chronic homelessness. It's important to think about that for a minute. And that's not to say that, friends, we still have our problems. But when we lead, everyone wins. I'm far from finished with my work, and I'm committed to seeing through the visions that I share with all of you, but I cannot lie. We have a tough road ahead. The state is in a financial firestorm, and what's happening at the Capitol will soon become our challenge to address. It's unclear what kind of monetary support there will be for cities like New Britain, which is why I'm focused on doing more with less and putting together a budget that is fiscally conservative and realistic. Now more than ever, we need to start thinking outside of the box. With over 52% of our annual operating budget coming from the state of Connecticut, we need to start thinking better and being more resourceful so that we can wean ourselves off of state aid. Though the city may be decades away from that reality, taking bold steps to start that process is why we lead. Because if we don't, who will? We have cut to the bare bones, to the point where if we cut any more, our citizens will start to notice and feel that lack of services. Our seniors should be able to afford to retire in the city. They should be able to live out their golden years here at home with their grandchildren close by. And while we often paint a rosy picture, there's a lot that's lingering underneath, that's been neglected for far too long that we can no longer avoid. They are decades-old issues. Issues from before I was born. Outstanding debt and liabilities, rising pension costs, increasing mandates, and more. We will need to come together to find innovative ways to pay for these unavoidable costs. That means some tough decision-making is going to have to happen again. We need to generate more revenue, but we can't do it on the backs of taxpayers. We will seek ways to go after those who have not met their obligations to pay their taxes. We will ask nonprofits and tax-exempt institutions to contribute more to our community. And perhaps we will cut back on some of the in-kind services we have offered on our dime to organizations for decades. We just can't do it anymore. If we were able to fully tax all the entities in our city that are currently off of our tax rolls, we'd stand to gain. Are you ready for this? We'd stand to gain an additional $40 million a year in taxes. Imagine that. Our situation is no joke, and something that is not to be taken lightly. It requires constant monitoring and decision-making that considers the consequences years down the road, all while trying to achieve savings in the short term. That's a complexity that's not easily executed. Despite the gloomy picture at the Capitol, there are many bright spots and many more successes and accomplishments still to be had. In the weeks to come, spring will be here. Central Park will once again be bustling with activity. New businesses are on the horizon to be opening up, and construction projects will begin, adding to the growing hum in our city. New developments and innovation will bring that improved way of life and opportunities and make ourselves stronger. We are a city of immense talent and immense potential, the results of which we are seeing every day across our city's landscape. We'll continue leading the way and showing others how New Britain is undergoing a transformation that has no limits and no bounds. The state of our city is strong, and with your continued support, we will continue to lead the way for many years to come. Thank you. Bye, Facebook, sorry. Okay, I'm done. Thank you. Organize myself. Thank you all for your patience. It's hard to combine a whole lot of what's happened in the last year into a short speech. So I know I certainly missed a lot of things, but thank you. Alderman Giantonio.
Thank you, Your Honor. Motion to accept the minutes from the regular meeting of January 11th and the regular meeting of January 25th, 2017.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Salerno. Any questions or comments on the minutes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Amendments to the agenda?
Your Honor, there are no amendments to the agenda this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any petitions this evening?
No, ma'am.
All right. Alderman Giantonio for the consent agenda.
Your Honor, I am not aware of any items being asked off of consent. F, okay. Your Honor, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda consisting of items A, B, C, D, E, G, H, I, and J. So A through J with the exception of F.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Salerno. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? Mr. Clerk?
Alderperson Giantonio.
Yes.
Carlozzi.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Collins. Davis. Hargraves.
Yes.
Naples. Pabon. Polkowski.
Yes.
Rosado.
Yes.
Salvio.
Yes.
Sanchez. Sanders.
Yes.
Salerno.
Yes.
14-0, Your Honor.
Motion carries. F, Alderman Carlozzi.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to accept report F.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Giantonio.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a report of the professional services for the infiltration and inflow studies for the Public Works Department, Utilities Division, Phase 4. And it's a it's an expense of $445,000 to Comprehensive Environment, Inc., which is in New Britain, which is great. Your Honor, my question to whoever it should go to, I believe the first 2 phases of this we did in the form of a resolution, and I'm just wondering why the format of this is in the form of a report as opposed to a resolution.
I don't know if Director Esponda.
You have to excuse me, I'm new to this. I believe that since this money has been already allocated, it's in our budget, a report would be sufficient to do this.
Okay, do you know, would you have any knowledge of why the first 2 were done, the first 2 phases were done as resolutions?
I do not, I'm sorry.
Okay. So my only comment to that is, a report, you generally just accept. Resolution, you actually vote on yes or no. And when this is done as a report, I mean, there are things that, we've approved in the past, but then when they actually they come to in the form of resolution. So I believe I'm also want to state that report for the 3rd phase, Your Honor, I believe that was also done, Phase 3 was also done in the form of report. So there's 2 differences of how to handle this. It just seems to me that this type of thing, even though it was approved years ago, in its general concept, that it was been given to us in the form of a resolution. So that's my only objection. Can you give us just a little synopsis of what this report is about?
Absolutely, it's a study of our sewer system. We have issues with our existing collection system. This is to tighten up our system, make sure that when large amounts of rain come down, it does not infiltrate our sewer system, which would overflow the Mattabasset treatment plant, which would allow untreated sewage to bypass the plant and go directly into the stream. We're under EPA orders to improve our sewer system, and we have to do this work. This will identify and provide the best bang for the buck by identifying these locations where we get the best investment to put our repairs in place. By doing this, we will be able to identify those locations that need the greatest repair.
And were the first 3 phases, were they done also by Comprehensive Environmental?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you know, were they the only bidder on this type of work originally when it started out?
Again, at that time, I was not working with the
Different
sewers.
positions. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other questions on the report? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 1, Alderman Giantonio.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 1.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Rosado.
Thank you, Your Honor. Resolution number 1 has to deal with commercial tax benefits, residential and commercial tax benefits for 125 Columbus Boulevard. As you mentioned in your State of the City, this is a multi-million-dollar project at the old police station to bring a mix of residential and commercial spaces to our downtown. And this agreement allows the city to provide a tax incentive for the large investment that Zenith will be making here. This did come back from the committee with a favorable recommendation, and I urge approval.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this? We need a roll call for this.
Alderpersons Giantonio,
Yes.
Carlozzi,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Collins, Davis, Hargraves,
Yes.
Naples,
Yes.
Pabon, Polkowski,
Yes.
Rosado,
Yes.
Salvio,
Yes.
Sanchez, Sanders,
Yes.
Salerno.
Yes.
14-0, Your Honor.
Motion carries, one step closer. Thank you. Resolution number 2, Alderman Giantonio.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt item number 2.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Collins.
Thank you, Your Honor. This item has to do with a proposed amendment to provide an increase for fees for fixed food establishments. In committee, we talked about this quite a bit with Director Lupo. Every other year, we are starting to look at fees such as this to make sure we're staying in line with surrounding communities and making sure that we're still continuing to charge a fair price for the services that we need to do with restaurants as far as inspections and things of that nature. This is a small increase, and we are still well below comparable towns in our area, and I urge acceptance.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on this? Alderman Carlozzi.
Thank you, Your Honor. Through you to Mr. Lupo.
I know I can never see back there.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good.
So Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, and Class 4, can you tell me the differences between these different fixed establishment restaurants?
It's based on the frequency of inspection. So Class 1 is inspected annually, Class 2 twice a year, Class 3 3 times, and Class 4 4 times.
And is that rate of inspection dependent on the size of the restaurant?
Not necessarily on the type of food how it's prepared, and the hours of operation. So it's the type of food, and the hours and the volume of food, how it's prepared.
So someone with a full kitchen, I don't want to name any names, so someone with a full kitchen who stays open till 11 o'clock at night?
I'll just give you an example. A nursing facility or a hospital or a caterer would be considered a Class 3 or 4. A retail food store that sells single-serving service items, such as milk or butter, would be considered a Class 2. And Class 1 would be prepackaged foods that don't require refrigeration.
Okay. How many times have we raised the rates in the last couple of years?
Last couple of years, last time we raised them was 2 years ago.
And then before that?
2 years before that.
Yeah, because I was going to say, this is like the third stab since, I want to say this was probably the third time since I've been on the council.
Yeah,
We've raised
and
rates.
it's because we were actually 50% lower than all the other towns were. So I was bringing it up slowly.
And where do we compare now? If we look at the one that's at 270, where do we compare in terms of other area towns?
Okay, so for instance, currently, when you average Class 1 through 4, it averages at $162 for an annual license, what we currently have on the books. We're proposing where it would be an increase of $200 a year. Bristol Burlington, in comparison with other districts and health departments, they're at $281. Plainville Southington is at $206. Farmington Valley Health District, $250, and the city of East Hartford is $250. So we're still probably roughly around 20% lower than everyone else.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Alderman. Any further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
For the record, Your Honor.
For the record, we have a nay from Alderman Carlosi, Alderman Sanchez. Thank you. Motion carried. Resolution number 3, Alderman Polkowski.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 3.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Salvia.
This resolution is in regards to our Little Poland Festival. Witamy wszystkie do Małe Polska. So hopefully we'll see you all in Little Poland. Make sure you bring your red and white, and make sure you have your flags prominently displayed wherever you can. This is a great event, April 30th, Sunday. It's an all-day event from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Lots of food, lots of vendors, lots of merchandise, whatever you'd like to buy, and obviously there's going to be some drinking involved of non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages. So I urge adoption, and I urge all of my council members to join me April 30th. Thank you.
Na zdrowie. Thank you. Any questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 4, Alderman Sanders.
Thank you, Your Honor. Make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 4.
Second, Your Honor.
Seconded by Alderman Carlosi.
Resolution number 4 is to amend section 14-394 of the Code of Ordinances requiring the filing of an A2 T2 survey. This is important. I'm going to read a little bit of this resolution on the underlined part. This must be filed within 30 days after completion of all required improvements and prior to the applicant's submission to the Connecticut Department of Motor Vehicles. The applicant shall file with the town clerk 3 as-built plans conforming to the Class A2 T2 survey accuracy standards with the Office of the Town Clerk. What this is going to do in regards to our automotive issues that we've had is these A2 T2 drawings are going to have to be filed. They're going to be delivered to all the pertinent departments so that we can go out and inspect to make sure that all the issues and concerns that we address at the planning level, at the council level, at the committee level are done. These things have come up on many levels, and this is one of the tools that we're putting in our toolbox to assist with our moratorium. And the reason that we put our moratorium in place was to add these tools to our toolbox. So I urge adoption, and also would like to compliment Alderman Polkowski on acknowledging the Irish month by wearing green, as well as myself. Thank you.
That's next meeting. Thanks, Alderman Sanders. Any other questions or comments on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 5, Alderwoman Black.
I make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 5.
Second.
This
Seconded by
resolution-
Alderman Hargreaves.
This resolution is, as the mayor has said, this is Women's Day, the whole month of our day. But whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made history, contribution, excuse me, to the growth and strength of our nation in countless ways. And whereas women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every factor of life by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas women have played a unique role throughout history by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force. And whereas women were particularly important in the establishment of early childhood, psychological, and cultural institute. And whereas women of every race, class, and ethnic background serves as early leaders in the forefront of every major progress, social change movement. And whereas women have been leaders in not only securing right of surface, equal opportunity, but also in the abolition movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a fairness and more just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of women in history has been constantly overlooked and undervalued. In the literature, teaching, and study of history, now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council and Mayor of the City of New Britain recognize that March 2017 is designated as Women's History Month.
Yay, thank you. And if anyone has anything else to say. Alderman Hargreaves.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just wanted to stand and say that I wore red today in support of our women for International Women's Day.
Nice going.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Seeing no other comments, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Alderwoman Black. Alderman Giantonio.
Thank you, Your Honor. I make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 6.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Salerno.
Thank you, Your Honor. Resolution number 6 authorizes the mayor to sign documents to accept a grant in the amount of $110,498 to be used by our Health and Building Services Department for their Immunization Action Grant Plan. We've been doing this since 1995, and I urge adoption.
Thank you very much, Alderman. Any questions or comments on this acceptance of a grant? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 7 goes to Alderman Sanders.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 7.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Polkowski.
Resolution number 7 is for a traffic signal shift and upgrade on Corbin Ave in Myrtle, which was struck by during a motor vehicle accident. The reason for the cost is they're going to do some minor upgrades. It's going to help improve the turn over there. The money for that is in the Public Works traffic
Repair account.
Repair account. So thank you. I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. There's a lot of accounts. It's impossible to know all of them. Thank you. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 8, back to you, Alderman Sanders.
Put me to work tonight. I'd like to make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 8.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Collins.
Resolution number 8 is for our traffic signal management operations plan. This is huge. I was lucky to be able to attend the Public Works meeting. They only do them quarterly. What this plan is going to do, it's really going to bring our traffic lights in the city, which, if anyone who's driven through downtown knows, it takes forever now as the lanes have shrunk. So this study is basically state of the art, and it is going to help time our traffic lights. There's just so much about it. I hope that most of the councilors had a chance to read the report. There's too much to go through. But it's just going to bring us into the 21st century. It's going to improve our traffic flow. It's going to improve safety, so I urge adoption. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on that?
Your Honor.
Alderman Salerno.
Yes, very briefly. I've also been able to look at the plan. I was there for the presentation at the police department, actually, at the commission for the police department. It's really going to make a great difference in the city over time. I just want to commend the members of the Public Works Department for the efforts that they did. They're very passionate about this particular project, and I think we should be too, and I just certainly urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 9, Alderman Pabon. Welcome back.
Make a motion to accept and adopt. Second.
Seconded by Alderman Salvio.
This is a budget transfer from the police department from one account to from several accounts. And
To several.
and it's a good thing that, well, I'd like to commend the chief for finding the money from these separate accounts to pay for all the other ones. And there's no additional funds required from the general fund. And the money we're transferring is going to be covering, let's see, police budget, it's for overtime budgets, for funds for repairs. And I urge adoption. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Alderman Pabon, for just taking money from certain few accounts that are over budgeted and putting them in places where we came up a little bit short. It's good prudent budgeting. Any questions or comments on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 10 goes to Alderman Naples.
Your Honor, I move to accept and adopt resolution number 10.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Hargraves.
Your Honor, this is a budget amendment that allows us to accept a grant from the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. It's an arts grant award of $38,380. In past years, the city has gotten considerably higher amount, but the state is in pure financial trouble, so we're fortunate to get this. I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments on this grant? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 11. Back to you, Alderman Naples.
Your Honor, I move to accept and refer resolution number 11 to the Committee on Licensing.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Polkowski.
This one is to purpose of allow Holy Cross to get a license to conduct their annual Bazaar and Carnival. This year it's on June 15th to the 17th, 2017. Maybe we can get former Alderman DeFranzo to come out of retirement to raise money in the dunk tank, which he was pretty successful at doing. I urge referral.
We'll give him a call to ask. Something tells me he's probably not interested. All those in favor of the referral to licenses signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman Giantonio, Resolution 12.
Thank you, Your Honor. Make a motion to accept resolution number 12.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Salvio.
Thank you, Your Honor. This has to do with accepting a grant from the state of Connecticut to further fund the great work that our town clerk, Mark Bernacki, is doing with preserving historical documents. I guess that's a hard word for me to say today. And it's a grant in the amount of $5,000 that will be combined with some monies moving from within that department to fund this work, and I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in, Alderman Carlosi?
Actually, Your Honor, I do have a question, if I may, drew you to our town clerk, Mr. Bernacki.
He's the preservation expert, so.
Alderman? How are you, sir?
Good.
So this is a grant. It's not city money, but it is taxpayer money. Just wondering, when will this work actually be done? Will it something that's be done during the course of the day, or will it be something that will be done after hours when your office is normally closed?
The grant, well, there's a couple of things here. There's the grant, and then there's the day-to-day activities. The grant we're looking to do is to provide for more shelving in the vital records vault, because we're totally out of room with that, so that will enable us to purchase movable storage shelving. The rest of the money is on an overtime basis to be able to back scan and index all of our historic records that we've been doing for the last 3 years.
So my question was, will this work be done during the normal course of the day or after hours? And when you're saying overtime will be paid,
Yeah,
is
it's
that
after
because the
hours.
people that will be working on this project will be doing it outside of the normal scope of their duties during the course of the day?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Clerk. All those, sorry, I'll wait for him to get back to. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 13, Alderman Giantonio.
Thank you, Your Honor. Make a motion to accept and adopt resolution number 13.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Salerno.
Thank you, Your Honor. As we heard in public participation from former Mayor Tim Stewart from the Chamber of Commerce, this is the Tri-Town partnership with Farmington, Berlin, and New Britain. We were given a design grant of $40,000 to look at opportunities to create, more opportunities and spaces for economic development. This is just us lending our support behind those efforts. And as former Mayor Stewart said, hopefully, next month or the month after, he'll be up here saying that we received the grant and, that we can use that money to try and see those economic development opportunities through to fruition. And I urge adoption.
Thank you, Alderman. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. B4, we entertain a motion to adjourn. I have to make an announcement, otherwise Alderman Smedley will be very upset. The reason why Alderman Smedley is not here this evening is because he is very busy prepping for New Britain High School's annual musical. This year, it is The Little Mermaid. And I would like to let everybody know on his behalf that they will be showing on St. Patrick's Day, Friday, March 17th at 7 p.m. There's 2 showings on Saturday, March 18th. One is at 2 p.m. and one is at 8 p.m. at New Britain High. So please make every effort to attend and show our kids some support. I know it's going to be fabulous. So, okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Made by Alderman Sanders, seconded by Alderman Naples. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. We are adjourned. The time is 8:05 p.m. Thank you.